All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and dive into the big idea. And for the big idea this week, I know that you don't really monitor like internet trends. Like that's not like a thing that you keep up with.
I quit doing that when we dropped the band work.
What?
Seriously, I did it for the band, so I was like,
Right.
what's trending?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, don't do it.
Well, unfortunately, I routinely have to put on my muck boots and go wading through
I bet it is a
the
cesspool.
refuse of humanity. Yeah. But there is one interesting trend that is getting some traction, specifically in the last week. Like this is actually kind of a very fresh thing, and for a change, I actually find it somewhat interesting. This isn't like one of those like stupid like Tide Pod challenge or like, do you hear when those kids were like eating all that cinnamon? And then it's like,
Oh, I love the cinnamon one.
really?
Oh, that was hilarious. I saw one time
People were having heart attacks.
I saw an Australian guy do
not
it
funny.
with a tablespoon. He was in Canada, but he was an Australian guy, and he's like, boom, he shoves it in there, and all of a sudden his face starts inflaming red.
Yeah. Well, was he allergic?
No,
Oh.
he couldn't breathe
Well-
because it went back
Oh.
up. When it went this way, it went up to his nostrils, and he's like, I can do this. And all of a sudden, two of his nostrils, two puff clouds came out, and he's like, I'm doing okay. And then he keels over on the camera.
The public service announcement from your friendly neighborhood Green Beret medic: that much cinnamon is not good for your health. It can induce cardiac arrest. Don't do it. All right.
Or it can clog up all your breathing orifices,
Well, I mean,
and you can literally
yeah.
suffocate. He was on camera. The guy was suffocating.
Well, quite literally.
Literally.
And I hate that word. But okay. Anyway, this trend is actually kind of
right.
interesting. So turns out that there are a lot of females, and I use that term specifically. I mean actual females.
Okay.
Right?
I thought you were a female.
Yeah. Anyway, that are surprised to find out that the men in their lives routinely think about the Roman Empire, and so they're making all of these videos like, babe, yeah, they're filming, it's like, can I ask you a question? Sure. Do you think about the Roman Empire often? And usually the answers have been like, I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, well, how often? I don't know. Like, maybe a couple times a month, a couple times a week, maybe every day. Some of these dudes, and their ladies are freaking out.
This is for real.
This is a thing that's going on right now. And so it's like,
I mean, the guy's answers.
well,
You don't think they're staged?
The bulk of them are supposed to be candid, right? So
Okay.
also trends like this tend to start feeding on themselves at a certain
Right.
point.
That's why I'm like, at
But-
what point in time really? That's
but-
what guys are thinking about the Roman Empire?
That was kind of my first gut reaction
Okay.
too, to tell you the truth. But this is where the videos are going, and the bulk of them are from this angle. And so the conclusion is becoming like, did you know that men think about the Roman Empire this often, and ladies are interested in it? So I wanted to present that to you and kind of get your unique perspective as a substitute teacher. He doesn't say that often when he does his little bio, but he does. He substitute teaches at the middle school level?
Oh,
Is it
I go from 5th grade to 12th.
Okay, so all the way up through the high school level, right? So Western civilization is a category that have you done before in the classroom?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So,
Lots of ignorance, though.
well, sure.
Don't tread on me.
Right.
The kid that's suspended for the racial flag, don't tread on me.
Well,
Really?
Now that you're saying that, I think that I took like 3 credits of Western Civ in college. And then I took elected to take 3 credits of American history. It was American Survey from 1690 through 1865, like right to the end of the Civil War.
Okay.
Pre-Reconstruction.
Wow, they usually cut off just before the Civil War.
Yeah, this one went through. This one went through the end of
Okay.
it. But that was the bulk of like the Western history that I took at the collegiate level. Which I don't know why we went. I have a degree, guys. Like. Woohoo, right? But
Yeah, well, that's part of humanities. So.
sure, but I guess all of that to say, like, what is your take on it? First of all, do you think it's legit or not?
As dumb as our culture is, no, I don't think it's legit. That's what my first tendency is to think that that's made up. Okay, do you think about this? No, I mean. There's a few films out there that I think that would help with that kind of thing. 300.
That's Greek.
I realize it's not the same culture.
Which is the point. Did you... wait, those were the Greeks? Yeah, dude, thousands of years apart.
But what I draw from that is leadership, army, team, gladiator would be another one. Manly kind of things, fighting for a reason, standing up for what you believe in. So if it was anything,
I think that you're trying to say that like it represents like true masculinity.
Yes,
like that time frame in history.
Well, those specific things in their time set of history, because we just separated the Spartans from the Romans from in those different films. But yeah, I would say it's the part of it is the masculinity, and then when you start talking about the Spartans and the Romans, then you're also talking about the kind of government that surrounds them, because in both of those, the government matters.
Why not the Greeks in general? Why are you?
Well, just because the movies focus specifically on that, but the Greeks and the Romans, if you want to talk about people groups, but the masculinity, the government that goes behind it, so it makes you think, what was in that masculinity, what was the downfall of it? Because with that much testosterone, as they show in the movies, you would think, man, that would keep things moving forward, right? And I think it's the same reason for, why you bring out a heroic movie. Doesn't matter if you go from Marvel or to Olympus Down. Isn't that the name of the movie, I think? Olympus Has Fallen. Olympus Has Fallen. Okay. Even in the midst of wokeism, you get these movies that do really well because of heroism.
I gotta make sure that I'm getting that name right.
Olympus Has Fallen?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds right.
But there's something else. Is it White House Down?
Yeah.
And Olympus Has Fallen.
There was a spattering of those movies that came out all at the same time, and it's like,
yeah.
These movies all have the same plot.
Yeah, they do.
It was strange.
I think they stole them off of each other. Who can get him out first?
Well,
who's got the better actor?
It's like, all right, man, you can copy my homework, but make sure you change like a couple of answers.
Exactly. But that kind of heroism from all of those things matter, and dudes are after that kind of heroism. They still root for it,
right?
And then, but what happens with the government that's behind it? Why didn't that kind of heroism save the government? In the Greeks, when you have the Spartans, why didn't that heroism from their army save the government? And the Romans, why doesn't that save the government today? Why doesn't the kind of heroism save the government? And I think if you're looking at that, because shouldn't it? Because I don't know about you, I interlink that type of heroism with altruism.
I think...
Don't you?
Yeah.
When you root for a hero, you do so because he is altruistic also.
Well, sure.
Caps.
I was going to say, like, everybody, it doesn't... All little boys, man. Like, cowboys and Indians, cops and robbers.
Good guy
versus bad guy.
That's what it turns out to be.
And you always want the good guy, like deep down inside, like, it doesn't matter who you are, like, you want the good guy to win.
That's your Doofenshmirtz.
And he gets the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like we all want to see the good guy triumph, because it's like there's something in your heart that feels like the world is right when the good guy wins, evil is defeated.
And there's something
he gets the girl. He lives happily ever after.
And there's something not jiving in our current culture with that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you...
And that is that you have the hero, you have the altruism, you got all that testosterone. Wow. Why doesn't it save the government?
They want all that testosterone.
Yeah. Why doesn't it save the government? Why doesn't it turn out good, and that good blow out like this and it cover... And then our government turns good. Everybody else chases after that heroism.
Well, I have a really unique theory about that, and so this comes from the work that I do studying like unconventional warfare, when you talk about populations, there's typically, we're going to take a break.
Is that what we're going to do? Hold that thought right there. Hope you enjoy this segment. We'll have part 2 to it coming up right after this. If you like what you're hearing, we talk about hitting the bell, ringing it, and then what do they got to do? Subscribe, right?
Yeah, make sure that you follow, make sure that you subscribe, and what we really need, please share the video with a friend. The algorithms, they don't like us. We talk way too much about things like masculinity. I think you said testosterone like 4 times.
Woo! We're going to get flagged over
We're
that?
going to talk about Jesus coming up here in a little bit. So, hey, please share the video with a friend, give it a thumbs up, and
we'll see you on part 2
there it is.
of heroism.